everybody, welcome back to Women Carry Knives. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Bestech Bandit. This is a great knife. Now, these do sell for $44 on Amazon, and to let you know, they do come in various different variations. This one we got here is the green micarta. I'm sorry. This one's the green micarta. But the different variations you can get, all are $44. You can get the black G10 with black G10, green G10. You can get black micarta, green micarta, or you can get the natural micarta. Either way, all of these are going to have an N690 blade with a stonewash and a flat grind. Nice flat grind. Now, it is Bestech. It is kind of their budget version. But we all know and love Bestech, and Bestech has some great knives. This is not an exception. This is also another good one. This is actually courtesy of the Apex Pass Around Group. It has been wonderful to be able to have this one, to get it in hand, and to be able to play with it. I have really, really enjoyed it. Now, as I said, these are the OD Green Micarta scales. Your backspacer on this is going to be G10. For my lefties out there, this does have some lefty love, so you are going to have an ambidextrous knife, and it is a tip-up carry, as you can see. This one is a flipper, and it is very, very smooth. I've actually been loving carrying this one. As I showed you a minute ago when I showed that side, it is a liner lock. Very smooth. This is an incredibly smooth knife. It does run on bearings. This has actually been really fabulous. We've had this one for a little while, have been able to play with it and just see what it can do. Again, we don't use any hard use on them for knives that come from the pass around because they're not ours. But as far as cardboard packages, I don't have my lanyard rope out right now, but or the cord, but I do sometimes take out some 550 paracord and just cut it just to see, you know, how does it perform. The thing I thought was interesting about this is it's kind of a tanto-ish blade, but the first time that this gets sharpened, I would imagine that this is going to lose that tanto and it's going to become more of a drop point blade on that. It fits in the hand really, really well. So now this is definitely going to be a smaller knife. So for those of you with smaller hands, it's going to be very comfortable. Larger hands, not as comfortable. I can get a full 4 fingers on here, but if you have larger hands, you are not going to be able to. The kind of like little finger hole, I can't really get into it. It's a little bit tough for me. You can just barely, you know, if you have bigger fingers, you're going to have an issue with it. Even to try and get in there with my thumb is, you know, that's tough. It's tough just because of how small it is and how closely it is nestled into kind of the liners right here. So you can see that. Reverse flicking, if I didn't have nails, actually, see, I can actually reverse flick it with my left hand. So that is a lot easier. So for lefties, I think it's going to be a little bit easier to flick because you're able to get in there a little bit easier. As I said, it is a flipper. You do have some jimping on the back of your flipper tab. Your flipper tab is angled up a little bit. I'm sorry, I was playing with the fire a little bit, and I have some stains on my hands now, so I apologize for that. But yeah, this has been, I mean, it drops nicely. It's not, I wouldn't call it completely drop shutty, but it is very smooth, and it has been absolutely wonderful, as I said. The micarta has done really well, too. So a lot of the times you'll get a micarta that is, what should I say, almost too smooth, where this one has enough texture to it. And you can see, you know, it's been through the Apex. This is the Apex Pass Around Group one, right? Yeah, and it's been through quite a few hands. So you can see.
Sorry.
Every time. Sucker.
Keep going.
Every time I get one of these, I always want to feel on my micarta because I want to know how is it going to perform. Is it going to be too slick? Is it going to be, you know, grippy enough? Well, this one is actually, it's grippy enough, and I really do like that. Your lockup on this, I'm going to call it about maybe 15-20%, if that. Again, I'd have to say that this is more for a smaller hand. So you guys know 3 inches across, 4 inches diagonally. I tend to hold this one a little bit almost straight, not quite diagonally. So you're going to have, you know, larger hands. You're going to have a hard time with this one. And let's go through a size comparison before we go through the specs on it. So you can see here, this is the Baby Banter. And I like to pull that one out because I like people to see the difference in a really small knife compared to, you know, what knife I'm reviewing it's compared to. We also have the Bug Out. So you can see it is smaller, and I consider the Bug Out to be more of a medium-sized knife. I don't know that I would call this small, but it is really verging on that. Lastly, we will compare that to the Rat here. And you can see the Rat is definitely a large knife, so you can see the difference. It is quite a bit smaller. So if we want to talk about some of the specs on this one. Now, your blade is going to be about just over 2 3/4 with about a 2 3/4 inch cutting edge. Your closed or handle length is going to be 3 3/4, which is going to give you an overall of about 6.5 inches. Your weight on this one, which I thought was interesting, is fairly light. This is only 2.6 ounces. Your pocket clip is actually nested into the liners there at the end, which is really nice because that means you are going to get a true deep carry on that. And your pocket clip, although just stainless steel, has some really good retention. And I like the ramp is very low, so it makes it really nice. It doesn't stick out of the pocket. It's not going to fray your pockets. It's really well done. I do like that. And I do like it when they nest it kind of into the back of your liners there. Sorry, the back of your scales. So I've been pretty happy with this. Bestech has come out with some really good, more budget-friendly knives. And that's just wonderful because I know that I've always loved Bestech. I love their line. However, I can't always afford some of their knives. So this one being $44 on Amazon, that is just a wonderful price for what you're going to get. Yeah, the fidget factor on this is great. Let's see if we can do this again. And I have some nails, so it does make it harder. But see, we are able to left-hand flick. Now, could I close it with my left hand? That's definitely not going to happen. There is no lefty love on this. Simply because you don't have a place on this side to switch your clip over, which is kind of a bummer. I think that would be really nice. I do love it when you have lefty love on knives because I think there needs to be more of them. But so far, for what we have done with this one, it has actually performed very, very well. Let's see if we can get that in there. Yeah, see, left hand. I'm not left-handed, so that is a little bit tougher for me. But as I said, because of the way that this is set up, it's definitely easier to get a left-hand flick out of it rather than a right-handed flick. I'm going to take a finger off or something here. Yeah, I just can't get that. It's just too far under there for me. But you do still have the flipper tab, so you do have that option. If you can get your thumb just right on there, you are able to thumb roll it out. Ergonomically, because it does have just a tiny bit of, you know, an arch at the back, it does make it very comfortable for me for a small hand. Because of the flipper tab and you're jimping on there, I don't feel that. I am a huge fan of jimping, but I don't feel that with this knife you really do need the jimping. You can still choke up on it, which is really nice. I don't know. I think I'm really, really liking this one. As I said, it is smaller. I tend to have been carrying bigger knives lately, but this is definitely one that I would carry because there are times when I don't have jean pockets that are very deep. And this one would be wonderful to have. Now, I do carry them on the waistband. I also carry them in the pocket just to see what's the most comfortable. And to me, this one was just fine in the front pocket. Didn't even really notice it was there. And being that it's so light at that 2.6 ounces, it's not something that I really noticed. So that was great. Also, the width of the knife, because the scales and the liners are a little bit, I'll call it chunkier, because they are a little bit chunkier or fatter, it gives that handle a better grip for me too. Smaller knives, when they're a little bit thinner, when your scales are much or even a little thinner, it does cause it to be a little bit harder to get a good grip on it. So I do like the fact that they did that. All right, you guys, this has been a look at the Bestech Bandit. As I said, it does go for $44 on Amazon. You have several different variations to choose from. There is 5 altogether, and as far as I saw, that they are all the same price. So that's wonderful too. I like that. Feel free to grab yourself one if you do like it. I don't think you will be sorry. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it down in the comments section. You know, I try to answer each and every one of those. And have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Until next time.